Hi, Sam Unity Podcast, coming with another wonderful title today for your listening pleasure. Today I'm going to be discussing archaic culture. But first, what is culture? Culture, as we know it, is the identity of a people, the social arts, customs, the social institutions and achievements of a people, nation, or institutions or a social group. We know there are a lot of culture that have existed, especially the most prevalent one we all know, the fashion culture, which comes and go among both sexes. In certain parts of the world, there is this culture of tying very huge clothes around the waist. That happens in Africa, it happens in Asia, and the skirt wearing culture in England, which they do, especially when you see them, you love them on Irish Day on those skirts, as if they're women, but they're not. But the wonderful skirts wearing culture. Then in the South American culture, you have the parade they do all over the world. Wonderful South American parade. Uh, Again, when you say archaic culture, these are cultures that may have outlived their usefulness. Even in the Holy Book, you see Mosaic law changed for the New Testament. Maybe because the change of the changing times, some of those laws may have outlived their usefulness, and which is why they were changed for the New Testament. The same thing, the same way we could, as human, change some of those cultures that may have outlived their usefulness. I hear some parts of the world, including some parts of Africa, uh, they don't eat certain animal because they say they represent their ancestral heritage, or some of them call them some of them may call the toro as their mother or alligator as their father. And for that reason, they don't eat it, or they don't kill it, or they don't have anything to do with it. They worship it as you worship it like you worship an idol. So these are their culture, but I don't know how I'm gonna liken, or I'm gonna relate a toro as my ancestral heritage, or kind of helping me for some reason in certain situations. I don't know how that makes sense. So I'm still trying to make sense out of that. But the one that strikes me most is that culture of genital mutilation among or in both sexes that still exists in so many places of the world, especially in Africa, where it is a must for both sexes to have their genital cut off. I don't know how that should be kept, because anything that has to do with human body that inflicts pain on your body has to do with your own personal decision. If a community or a culture or a people has to impose that on you, that is questionable, in my opinion. And I see the reason why a huge number of people desert their communities and run away in recent times due to them being forcefully asked to have their genital mutilation done. And what it annoys me when I hear, or I come in contact with somebody saying they do even celebrate it. That during that genital mutilation instance, they cook and dance, and meanwhile somebody's in pain, and you cooking and eating and jumping and dancing and enjoying on someone's pain, and call it a culture. Now, this is something that has to stop, and has to stop today. The world has to listen to this. Everyone has to listen to this. No one wants pain or certain culture that has to go, continue to live, and causing problem and mayhem on people's body. Thank you for listening, and I hope we are all in this. and getting rid of this in our system, in our culture, in our people. God bless you.